right, what's up, guys? My name is James Avey, and I am your professor for HRM 445, which is Organizational Staffing, Upper Division, HR Specialization, or HR Minor. So, this is the course introduction video. I'm going to walk through Canvas so you can see how to access all the assignments, how it works with quizzes, videos, simulation, all that kind of stuff. The very first thing on here, of course, is where I am. Sometimes over the summer, kind of slim. But this right here, my phone number. So that's my office phone number. It rings straight through to my cell phone. So if you call that, it'll go right to me. Just leave a message because I won't probably won't recognize your number. Some of you I will, but won't recognize your number. So just leave a voicemail and I'll give you a call right back. If it's something that's urgent, if it can wait, you see my email there as well. So this is a full-on senior level elective that we are squishing into 6 weeks. So it's pretty intense. But by the end, usually people say it's pretty cool. The workload isn't super crazy. I know summer, of course, people have jobs, they're doing different things, but I'll show you that here in just a second. So what you will need an HR simulation access code from Interpretive Solutions. So an email has already gone out, depending on, I guess, when you watch this video, or else you'll get it very shortly, from Interpretive Solutions with an access code, the way to get it, to therefore access the simulation, which I'll again explain in a minute. It's a competitive simulation, part of our class. No other books besides that, no other software, nothing. I've just scanned all the readings. Most of them are readable. A couple of them are a little tough, but they're all in pretty good condition. And those are all in modules. Office hours, it's wide open, right? It's summer, it's an online class. So you tell me when you want to connect and pretty much I can usually make that happen. Zoom is my preference. Obviously in HR we understand a little bit of psychology about nonverbal communication, so that's my preference, but email, I'll do what I can. Phone is also good because it's fast. So organizational staffing, you can see the description, course outcomes, all that kind of stuff, but usually in a course introduction video, people are wanting to address the question, what do I have to do? What do I have to do in this class? So here's how it works. We're going to have a simulation for 5 of our 6 weeks. 4 of those weeks will be graded, or you will compete against other people in the class. Each of those weeks are worth 50 points. I'll explain how that works. The most basic, straightforward part about online classes are the quizzes. So there's content, there's video material, and there are 6 quizzes. Think about this for a minute. There are 6 quizzes, there are 6 modules, and we have 6 weeks of class. That's not an accident. So week 1, we do module 1 and end that with quiz 1. Week 2, we do module 2, end that with quiz 2, etc. all the way down, and then potential simulation essay, which I'll describe in a minute. So the simulation, what is it? I do encourage you to read the fine print on this, both in my syllabus and in the manual when you get access. So here's how it works. Everybody in the class will be competing against everybody else in an industry, which is people in the class. So if we have 15 people in the class, that might be 3 industries, 5 people each. And you're making decisions, and the idea is to optimize the HR function, specifically not just staffing, but the entire HR function, of which a huge part is hiring. So you're going to compete against everybody else. You're going to say, operating managers have said, hey, I need this many level 1 employees, entry level. I need this many level 5 employees. You decide. Do you do internal promotion for those needs where you can? Do you do external hires? Do you do a balance? How many raises do you give them? What kind of benefits do you offer? Are you going to give retirement? What do you do with grievances? All that kind of stuff. So you're managing, electronically anyway, an entire HR function. Each week for the 4 weeks, the first week is practice. So that should make people feel a little bit better. You'll get access to it. You'll go in. You'll be like, I have no idea how this thing works. Read the manual, play around. You'll make practice decisions, get an idea of just how to do it. But then starting in week 2, we have 4 weeks of simulation decisions. You'll go in and there's a standard set of decisions. It's pretty easy to navigate. I'll show it to you here in just a minute. And you'll make all of your decisions. Now, this requires analysis, of course, and there are analytical tools within the simulation. To the extent you optimize that, you win. So grading, this is very much of a meritocracy, and there are no exceptions. Meaning, when we were in junior high, it was good for developing moral character to say that everybody's a winner. But we know when we get out, that's just not reality. This is set up a little bit more like reality. So the top 20% of the scores each week will get a 50 out of 50. The next 40% will get a B. The next 30% will get a C plus, and the bottom 10% of every week, those people will get 34 out of 50 points or a D plus. So assuming you do it, you'll pass that part of the class. If you do it well, you'll get a better grade. If you stay at the bottom 10%, you and I are probably going to talk. That wouldn't be good. If you just say, forget it, I'm not doing this anymore, it wouldn't be 34 at that point. It would be 0. But that actually hasn't happened yet because it's kind of fun and super frustrating. It's like playing Monopoly against your 8-year-old little brother. Just like, why is this person beating me? Stuff like that. So it's actually super fun. When it's all said and done, at the very end of the competitive simulation, if you just got smoked and you didn't figure it out till maybe week 3 or 4 and it was too late, you were over budget, you didn't hire enough employees, etc., stuff like that, then you can, if you choose, it's totally up to you, you can write a summary of what was your strategy. And you got to figure out your strategy before you go in. What was your strategy with staffing? What was your strategy with compensation, with benefits, with employee relations, with unions, all that kind of stuff. And you can explain it, and you can make up to 25% of the remaining points. Again, if you'd like to. So standard set of decisions every single week. The first week, that's all I'm going to have you do. Well, the first week technically is practice. The second week, the first quarter, it's 4 quarters in the year, you'll make the standard set of decisions. After that, I drop in little grenades in the competition. I call them incidents. So at one point, you have to decide there's been some accidents if you're going to do drug testing. At another point, I say, hey, these 3 people have applied for this job. Which one are you going to hire and why? Like, what's your justification? So those are the incidents that are dropped in. Those are, of course, also scored, and they affect your metrics, or what's referred to as your HR scorecard. So that's the simulation. Super fun. The best way to do that is probably to jump in and play with it. And if you can't figure it out, let me know that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we'll get on and we'll look at it together. For these weekly decisions, all decisions are due midnight of Friday. So starting the second week for 4 weeks in a row, you'll have a set of decisions to make every Friday by midnight. No matter what's in there, if you haven't done anything, the simulation, the algorithm will run. If you go in, like, do I need to lock decisions or not? Nope. Whatever's in there at Friday at midnight, it's going to run, the algorithm, you against everybody else. Then the next morning, Saturday morning, you'll be able to log in and see the results, see your placement, say, okay, I raised compensation. Oh, I can see morale went up. I can see grievances went down, but I lowered benefits, which means I had a higher turnover rate, stuff like that. So you'll kind of get how it all plays together. Last thing on the simulation, make sure that you stay within budget. So it would be really easy for anyone to take, I think you start out with $1 million or 1.4 million, something like that, for all your whole company. It would be really easy to take that money and dump it all into the first quarter. Guess what? You'll win. You will win the simulation that quarter. 1.4 million. Everybody gets big raises. Everybody has great benefits. Like, this is awesome, Morale's high, turnover's low, grievances are low. Like, they just love you. No accidents, good safety. Like, everybody wins, right? The problem is you need that budget for 4 quarters, not for just 1 quarter. So the last part of this is basically don't blow your budget. Make sure you have money all the way through to the end. I get to log in, of course, see. It's a pretty cool system in that I see everywhere you clicked, how much time you spent, the decisions you made, all that kind of stuff, and the effect of it on your budget that you're given. So that's the simulation. I'm sure we'll have more on that, but that's kind of a quick overview. When you get an email from those guys to your central email account, please do not delete it. That is necessary for the course. The only other aspect of the course, it's pretty simple, are quizzes. So the simulation's by far the most complex. The quizzes are straightforward. 6 modules, 6 weeks, 6 quizzes. Each of them worth 50 points, so 300 points total. A little bit of the fine print here. Each module has a 50-point quiz. You'll take that with Respondus Lockdown Browser. So not the monitor, the camera thing, but the browser. If you don't know how to use that, just shoot me an email. Each quizzes will have between 10 and 25 questions. Most of them are like 21, 22, which means each quiz question might be worth 6 points, might be worth 4 points, stuff like that. They're different point values. You'll have 1 hour. It is timed. You'll have 1 hour for each of the quiz. You need to use Lockdown Browser. But if you want to use notes, for instance, the readings themselves, that's okay too. If you want to use notes, readings, whatever, as long as you stay within the Lockdown Browser, you're not opening up other stuff there. Otherwise, if you've used it before, you know it will kick you out and give you a 0. So don't mess around on the screen, but outside of that, you're good to prepare yourself and kind of any way you want. Okay, on the schedule. First week, class introduction video. Congratulations, you're doing that right now. So we can check that one off. Next most important thing, access the simulation. Don't wait till Thursday or Friday. Don't say, I don't need practice. Don't say, I'll figure it out. You won't have time. You want to access it this week and make sure when you click this button, you can see what happens. For those of you that are highly competitive and you really want to win on this, you'll actually read the manual. Here's what happens almost every year. There's a handful of people that read the manual and they figure out, okay, if I raise wages, this happens. If I do this kind of training, this happens, and they kind of smoke everybody else. There's a middle group that kind of goes through the manual, that kind of lands across the board, and there's a group that's like, I don't get it, it's overwhelming, and we get to hang out like week 3 or 4 when they're really frustrated. So try to be part of that first group if you can. Access the simulation, read the manual, take the quiz, figure it out. There's a quiz inside of the simulation, but it's no points for our class. It's just so you know that you know what's going on. Read the syllabus slowly and carefully. There's really only 2 major things here. So you don't have to get like, I don't mean like, you don't have to go read the course objectives and learning goals and stuff like that if you don't want to. But the 2 main things is make sure you understand how the simulation is scored. It's not like if you go in and you do your best, you'll get a good grade. You might go in and mess stuff up and not understand it at all, but because of the way the algorithm ran, if you go in and you give everybody a $3 raise thinking, yeah, that's about right, $3 an hour, first quarter, here's my budget, you've run all the analysis, you did all your homework, but nobody else did their homework, so they gave everybody a $10 raise. Guess what? You're in the same industry. So your employees will quit your job, and they're going to go to work for the $10 an hour raise company, but only for quarter 1 or 2, then they're going to come back. So what you do and your score actually does depend on you anticipating the market, what you think other people are going to do. So first week, there's a Look at Business episode. LAB is an acronym, stands for Look at Business. It's just some episodes that I put together interviewing different HR professionals. The readings are what generate most of the quiz, the readings and videos. So there's 4 readings there. You go through those. And then by the end of the week, Friday at midnight, all quizzes are open Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And they are due Friday at midnight. No late work. No exceptions. They're open for 3 days. So each Friday at midnight for the entire 6-week session. Is that right? Yeah. The quizzes will be due. You can do it anytime you want before that. I'll send an update out every Wednesday so you kind of know what's going on that week. So that's week 1. Week 2 begins what you might call the grind. It's a short grind because it's only a few weeks, but the grind. So you have your standard set of decisions. You watch your videos, you read and study the material, you take your quiz. Next week, guess what? You make your standard set of decisions with the special incident that I threw in there. You watch your videos, you do your readings, you take the quiz. Week 4, week 5, same thing. The only difference after that is in week 6, we'll be done with the simulation on week 5. So we just do it for 4 weeks. And I'll have grades and everything up by then. So if I was going to kind of break this down, you're going to watch videos and read and take a quiz every single week. For the first week, you're going to learn how to use the simulation. For the next 4 weeks, you're going to actually do the simulation. And the last week, I'm going to collate all the grades so everybody knows kind of what's happening. Video, readings, quiz, and then go enjoy the rest of your summer. That's the schedule kind of as we're moving forward. Again, I'm super available all the time. Get a hold of me. If I don't call you back in 48 hours, that means I didn't get it, or I spend a lot of time off grid during the summer, camp with my family, stuff like that. Um, I'll be back. Don't worry. There's usually nothing we can't undo or figure out, with one exception, and that is the simulation. If somebody calls me on Sunday, if a decision is due Friday night at midnight, they call Saturday or Sunday and say, hey, I was in a car wreck, I was in the hospital, I was unconscious. Can I do the assignment? I'm going to say, I'm sorry, no, and there's nothing I can do about it. And they're going to say, you're going to say, rightly so, hey, that's ridiculous. I get it, it is ridiculous. The problem is the simulation runs an algorithm that's connected to everybody else's decision. So it actually can't be replicated. Once it's done, that exact scenario cannot happen again. So I recommend for people, when you're going to make decisions, if you really want to be on top of this, go in, do your analysis, make your decisions Monday, Tuesday, the ones that are due Friday. If you wake up in the middle of the night on Thursday and go, oh, I forgot to do safety training, I need to allocate $18,000 to safety training. Okay, well then go ahead and do it. You have time to do it. But I do recommend not delaying on those decisions, doing them sooner than later. That's it on the syllabus. I'm going to flip over because you probably won't be spending much time on the syllabus. You'll be spending time here. Our whole world in this class is in modules. You have an introduction video. You have some frequently asked questions. Almost all of them actually are about the simulation. That's the only confusing part about the course. So those are helpful to check out. It's a short read. It's 5 minutes, but it'll tell you a lot. And then we move into it. So module 1, here's the link to go to log in. You'll create a username and a login and practice. There's a lab episode, which is an online interview between myself and an HR professional. 4 readings and the quiz. The quizzes, again, will be available Wednesday through Friday of each corresponding week. Module 2, log in, make your decisions, watch the videos, take notes, watch them a couple times if you want, study the readings, take the quiz, do that exact same thing 4 weeks in a row. Module 3, Module 4, Module 5, make your decisions. It sounds so boring to say make your decisions. It's actually super cool. You get in and you start to know, like, okay, these guys pay more, so what are they going to do this quarter? And those guys over there are slacking, but they have high quality in their product, which you're graded on, all these things. So how do we deal with that? Anyway, after Module 5, Module 6, very last week of class, you have a lab episode, you have some readings, and you have your final quiz. There's variance in the length of readings, I should say that. Where you see more readings, like Module 6 and Module 1, they're shorter readings. Where you see fewer readings, like Module 4, I actually scanned an entire book. These are 2 book chapters from a guy named Ed Locke, who's like off the charts, one of the best dudes in organizational behavior and human resource management. So those are weighty. I mean, those are heavy kind of readings. If there's fewer readings, don't think it'll be easier that week. They're bigger and they're heavier. But your whole world to be right here and in the modules, and you can start at the very top. That's actually what I recommend doing. Start at the top, watch the video, which you've already done. Look at the frequently asked questions. Start practicing on the simulation. Watch videos, get into the readings, take the quiz. After the first week, you'll get an idea of how the course is going to go. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please reach out. Zoom, phone, email, whatever works for you. Hope you guys have a great summer and looking forward to connecting. I hope we can over the course of the summer. I like to do that. And until then, and enjoy your June. So let's flip over really quick to the simulation. So the interpretive.com is where you'll have the email from. It'll give you an access code. You'll log in. If I clicked on the students tab, you'd see yourself there with your login and password and all that kind of stuff. But what I want to do is show you what it actually looks like. So the first time that you go to it, this is a demo, so it's not amazingly identical, but it's pretty darn close. This is what your interface looks like as you go through. You see across the top, it'll say decision inputs have been locked until you enter a startup decision. You only have to do this once, but the very first time you come into this, you click. I should probably show you what I was doing there. So this is the slide over here on the left. Says startup decision. Click the startup decision. This says your team name is basically just your name. Who are you? Um, and we'll go and we'll move forward. The startup decision is now done, so that's good. And that's opened up all of my other decisions. So what you have across the left is introduction and case. I'll hit both of those in just a minute. Really important. Startup decision, which you'll make, and a simulation tour. That is a great place to start. How does this thing actually work? You also have a glossary. So when you use words like employee participation, well, what does that mean? Well, that's employee engagement, or incentive plan, or affirmative action, or whatever it is. It's simply a glossary of these. This is what these words mean in the simulation and how they're used. So on the very first one that you'll come to, the introduction, if I'm you, the very first week, I can tell in 1 quarter or at the most 2 quarters who actually read the case, who did the math, who figured out how this thing is going to calculate your score, and who just logged in and started making decisions. There is a set of analyses that you can review. If people run the analyses, their staffing will generally be fine. From time to time, I get a call and it's the 3rd quarter, the 4th quarter, and they say, "Hey, I keep losing. What's going on?" And I log in and look and go, "Well, you were supposed to hire 30 level 1 employees the first week and 60 the second week. Now you're 90 people behind. So your quality stinks, your turnover is high, and people are mad because you're understaffed." You get all those from the analysis as you go through. So the introduction shows you this is the case, this is a glossary, almost everything that's over here, but spend some time checking out the case, probably multiple times. It tells you like what is the purpose of what it is that you're doing. So once you've done that, the tabs across the top are where you begin to play. HR department. This shows you, that's your dashboard. It's kind of your score. These will be the quarters across the top, right? 1st quarter, 2nd quarter, 3rd quarter, etc. The environment. You want to, if you choose to, you can purchase what are called surveys. Here's a wage survey, a training survey, a production survey, and a performance survey. What this shows you is what is everybody else doing. So if you are making decisions, just think of it just like you're an HR director for a firm. If all I'm looking at is how I'm doing here at my company, and I don't realize that, gee, I'm actually paying way too much money compared to the industry, or I'm paying 70% of the industry average, that explains why your turnover is high. That explains why you can't get the talent that you're trying to go get. So this shows you what everybody else is doing. And really, if I look in here and I go, well, my average is 18,000, the industry average is 18,000, but the local median outside of my industry is 19,000. Okay, that's okay. I kind of get it. It's per quarter. So that gives you an idea. Is that, are you in the ballpark? Are you high? Are you low? And if your strategy is to be kind of more Walmart, keep it low. If your strategy is to be more Google, when you're going to have to beat both the industry average and the local median. And either way is fine. Both strategies work great, obviously. You just got to pick whatever you think fits for this and pursue it. Same thing with training survey. How much money are your competitors putting in the training? So if they're putting a ton of money into safety and you're not, and you notice you have a bad accident rate, that's going to bring down your overall score. Then maybe you want to invest some money. This will show you in sum what everybody else is doing. Don't skip the environment tab. It shows you, like I said, whoever is winning, whoever is losing, it's all put together, and it shows you on average this is where you are. Decisions are where the rubber meets the road. So you have a series of decisions to make. Here's an example for staffing. Overall, how many people do I want to hire? How many people do I want to promote? So if I go to level 1, there are 50 projected resignations. I currently have 500 level 1s. That's about a 10% turnover rate. Tells you how much it costs to hire or lay off. Why would you lay off? Well, if you are projected to need estimated employees required 500, and let's say my employees, I have 600, well, I'm probably going to lay some people off. In this case, it looks like I have 500. I'm expected to need 500 for my level 1s, but 50 of those are going to resign.
So I probably want to go over here to new hires and hire 50 level ones. Sounds pretty straightforward. Here's where the complexity comes in. Let's click on level 2. I have 60 level 2s. It says I'm going to need 60 level 2s, and 6 of them are going to resign. So do the math with me really quick. I can either go hire 6 level 2 employees so I reach my 60, or I can promote from level 1 to level 2. All of us know in HR at this point, internal promotion is usually much better than external hires. Not always, but usually. So if I promote, here are promotions from level 1. Let's say, yeah, I'm going to promote 6 people from level 1 to level 2, and that satisfies my, my level 2 staffing. Well, if I go back here to level 1, remember, I just promoted 6 people. So I don't need to hire 50 anymore. I need to hire 56 because I promoted them. One layer of complexity. Here's the next layer of complexity. Level 3. Well, gee, I need 5 here. Well, if I need 5 here and I promote them, great. I've got the people that I need. But now when I go back to level 2, oh, I'm 5 short. That's right, because you just promoted 5 level 3s to level 2s to level 3s. So my recommendation is to start with level 5 and work your way down. And at the end, you can click here on analysis. And here's what you really, really want. You want this number right here, estimated employees required, to equal at least this number right here, projected employees. If you want to run lean, you can run lean and have the employees have fewer employees than you need. It's going to affect your budget because you're going to have to pay overtime. Or you can run, not running lean, what are you? I guess you're running fat. You can have more people than you want. That's helpful for things like turnover, quality, stuff like that, but you're going to pay for it. So they're all trade-offs all the way through. So after staffing, I go down to wages. On wages, I look at level 1. How am I paying? The level 1 hourly rate is this. Do I want to adjust their wage rate? Well, how would I know if I should adjust their wage rate? Remember the environment, the wages survey. Level 1s are making $15.38 an hour. The local median is $17.31. So I probably want to go back to decisions, back to wages. I'm probably going to want to raise their pay. When I raise their pay, it affects my budget. That's okay. So you do that for each level, whatever you want to do. It shows you an overall, and then you can run your analysis. You see, here's the wage adjustment, which is, and the percentage increase, and that's the cost. Pretty straightforward. If I add $1,000 onto all my level 5s and I have 20 level 5s, that's $20,000. And it'll give me a total projected cost and effect to my budget after I run all these wages. Benefits, same thing. I have holidays. What do you want to do? Do you want to pay for holidays? How much do you want to put in for retirement? And again, each of these you can get an idea from studying your environment, what your competitors are doing. All the way down to the very end, same thing with training, new employees, manager training, safety training, quality training, a total analysis, then your programs. Do you want an employee participation program, grievance procedure? I'll tell you this is pretty interesting with the grievance procedure. We know this from HR. If you give somebody an opportunity or a pathway to complain, what happens? They complain. So as soon as you have a grievance procedure, guess what? Your grievances go up. What's the flip side of that? If you don't give someone a way to complain, a way to grieve an unfair decision, they get mad and they leave. So grievances will creep up because people are upset and morale will be low because they don't have a voice. There's no way for them to say, hey, this, like, what happened here wasn't fair, or this needs to change. So it's kind of a two-edged sword. So if you're going to do a grievance procedure, I highly recommend doing it early in the process. First quarter, maybe second quarter, probably first quarter, probably not the last quarter, because then it's like things have been building and people are upset. Why don't right before we end the simulation, I'll give everybody a chance to complain about me? Yeah, maybe not a great strategy. Orientation program. You're going to want to do this if you're doing a lot of new hires, right? HRIS, it's about efficiency. You can read, you can go through Over here on the right is the cost of each one of these. Special decisions. Almost every week, I will have something. Don't forget to click on this tab. I will have something in here, a little, I like to call it a little bomb I dropped on your business, right? This, you're going to go through this and you're going to have to, you can watch the video, read the case, whatever it is, and go, what am I going to do here? Am I going to do a full-on job analysis for 20 grand? Am I going to just look in certain areas? Am I going to put it on hold? Am I going to hire a consultant? So you have a lot of different options. You make the decision that you think is the best decision. And after you've gone through each of these decisions, looking at all your analysis, making the decision, you click on Decision Summary. And it's not in here because I didn't make a million decisions, but this will tell you everything you just did, okay? All the way down, every program, what you did and did not decide to do. It will also show you, very important, your budget. If you click down below it, it will show you I have 1.4 million for the year. It will show you how much did I cost for quarter 1 as well as a breakdown. So if you think about it, 1.4 million divided by 4, what is that? 650, 325, I don't know. Am I doing this math right? You guys help me out. Is it 325,000? 650, that's 13. 400,000, hey, somewhere in there, 350, I don't know, something. Anyway, that's per quarter. So if you come over here in quarter 1, you're like, hey, I spent $1 million in quarter 1. Oh, great, I didn't break my budget. You've got 3 more quarters to go. You totally crushed your budget. So it'll show you your quarter and year to date, as well as kind of what you have remaining. So when you're ready to go, like I said, you're all done. You've looked at your decision summary and you're comfortable with it, then you're good. You can click down here, advance or submit, and walk away and feel like you did a good job. What I highly recommend not to do, I highly don't recommend, however, I'm struggling with my grammar this morning. Don't do what I'm about to say. How's that? Where someone goes, oh geez, it's Friday, I have to do those decisions. Let me come in. Staffing, yeah, let's hire a few people. Wages, oh, why don't we go 5% and just go down the line without actually running your analysis, without looking at what your competitors are doing, without checking out the environment, stuff like that. It's going to be really, really, really tough to be successful. So that's it. This goes when you submit Friday night at midnight. It will run all the regressions and it'll roll and it'll spit out your results the next day. So I have this up here so you can watch this over and over. I'm sure after me explaining this here for 10 minutes, you are probably going, okay, that looks sort of maybe fun, but I don't understand anything he just said. Reminds me of the Lego movie where the guy's like, okay, I think I got it all, but just in case, go back to the very beginning and start all over again. Kind of like that. So click on introduction. This is the very beginning. It explains everything you're going to do, the analysis to look at. They're great tutorials. This is where you want to focus. Surely in the first week, get the information here and then play around and navigate. And that's the main, like I said, the main kind of crux of the course. I can show you how you'll be graded on this under results. See, you won't be able to see this. This is just me. So this is the report that I have created that gives you your ranking, which predicts your grade on this assignment each quarter. So there are 8 indices. Unit labor cost, you want your cost to be low. Quality index, you want your quality to be high. Turnover, you want turnover to be low. Morale, again, pretty straightforward here. You want your morale to be high, people to be happy. Low accident rate, low grievance rate, high productivity, low absenteeism. These are all equally weighted at 12.5%. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My math is correct. 12.5 times 8 should be about 100%. So you can see, you will be able to see these scores, faculty, students, and it is used to mark your score. The last thing I added here was called a weighted score. Those are the weightings. They're all equally weighted. So this will be kind of your final index. This will tell you your weighted score if you want to look at it. That compared to everybody else tells you how you're doing. So each Saturday, you should be able to log in and see your weighted score, as well as anything here that says show to students. You'll be able to see how you did on each one of them. This is another really important part of the analysis. If you look at your weighted score, you go, okay, I was in the middle. Sounds good. What do I do with that? You need to see, why were you in the middle? Maybe your cost was low, your quality was high, and your turnover was miserable. So this report that you can log in and get, that tells you how you can go about correcting it. So how you can make it different the next quarter by emphasizing what you did good and minimizing where your scores weren't so high compared to your colleagues.